There's lots of different options you can bring to a gravel race. You can ride a road bike if you want. You can ride a full suspension mountain bike. Most folks these days are on straight ahead gravel bikes. Here at Bighorn Gravel, I brought a high-end loaner. Thank you, Chemo Seymour, for this sweet Specialized S-Works Epic hardtail, and was happy to have both the suspension and the big old 2.3 tires. Fast kids at the front of the race, they were not messing around with mountain bikes. They were riding straight up gravel bikes. Although we saw Dylan Johnson, who came in third on a bit of a hybrid, a hardtail factor with a smaller suspension fork and drop bars. In this video, I'm going to talk about the bike, the race course of Bighorn Gravel here in Gypsum, Colorado, and how the two of those paired and how I fared. Good morning, Tyler. Good morning, Dylan.
Dude, all the YouTubers in one spot.
I'm third. I figure I'm third on the YouTube podium today. True to form, I managed to shoot myself in the foot. Or in the front brake. You know, some lessons you just have to learn and relearn and relearn. Today's lesson, courtesy this chucklehead, was when you take your front wheel off to put the bike in the car, put the brake block inside the front caliper. I had a brake block, I didn't put it in there. And I took the bike out this morning, popped the wheel in, and realized that I could barely touch the front brake before it was fully braking, and the thing was just chirping, chirping at me all day. I stopped, I don't know, mile 15 or something like this when I found I was doing like 400 watts on a flat road in a group. I was like, what is going on? Took the wheel off, got my tire lever in there, trying to get the pads to retract. You know, if I had just taken all of 3 seconds to put that brake block in there, would have had no such issue, but as it was, so it goes. Bighorn Gravel. It's a hard event. It is a hard event. We're up here at, I don't know, 7,000 feet in Gypsum, Colorado, which is just east of Vail. Everybody knows Vail, right? Some fancy ski living there. I know nothing about this, but I do know it's beautiful up in these mountains. The course was rerouted a couple days ago because there was still, you know, multiple feet of snow up at the high point. We still had some 10,000 feet of climbing over 75 miles, so we got our money's worth and then some. One benefit of the out and back, kind of like Leadville, is you get to see what's happened at the front of the race. Eric Bruner and Howie Grotz just come blazing past. 1-2. Got one of the country's best cyclocross racers, one of the country's best mountain bike racers, giving her. The mere mortals, on the other hand, we've still got a long way to climb. Sure is pretty though. Part of the secret sauce for race promoters Mike Brumbaugh and Jake Wells is not just elevation, but some rowdy roads. There's a couple spots of single track. There was a new bit of 2 miles or so downhill that tested my meager skills, even on a big bike like this. Relatively, big bike is relative, right? For a gravel race, this is a big bike. And then there was the section of really swoopy, bermed out single track towards the end, but most of the race is on county roads, on kind of rugged Jeep roads that, like so much of Colorado dirt roads, how they run depends on what the weather's been doing. And there were some parts where it was pretty rutted out. It was pretty clear that there had been some rain and some trucks or Jeeps had gone through and dug in there. So that was, you know, added some fun and challenge. So even though the race is only 75 miles, I did not talk to a single person who wanted to go out and do more. Michaela, who won, said at a couple points she was crying, it was so hard, but true to what makes her such a great racer, she did not stop. She just kept going harder and smashed it, as did Howie Grotz, who won in the men's division. So nice work to both of those fine racers. Let's talk about this bicycle. What's a gravel bike? It's a bike you ride on gravel. Today, chefs, the bike du jour was this Specialized S-Works Epic, which weighs a ridiculous 20 pounds, like fully built up, like with the pedals on and cages and Garmin mount and Garmin, etc. For context, I put a giant Revolt X, which has a fork that's, you know, half of this on the scale, and that was over 22 pounds. So lighter than a full suspension gravel bike. I was on this because I bumped into Chemo on Wednesday, and I told him I was doing this. I said, you know, if I had a mountain bike, this course is so rugged, I would happily ride a mountain bike. I don't own a mountain bike. He said, hey, you want to borrow mine? Well, yes, I do. So that's exactly what I did, and I was happy to have had that. A couple of parts where it excelled, part or two where it's not ideal. Where it excelled was like, obviously like the more rugged bits, where having 100 mil of squish felt nice. Having 2.3 inch tires at like 22 to 24 PSI felt great. Also having a wee little gear of a 34, I didn't know they made them gears that small. 34 ring with a 50 in the back allowed me to creep very slowly but still pedal up the hike-a-bike section, which last year I absolutely walked. So I wasn't going quickly, but I was able to pedal up that. So that was very nice. 10-minute walk from here. Your mileage may vary. It's at least metaphorically all downhill. Thanks.
Bourbon, Skittles, water.
I smell bacon. I would love a bite of bacon.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, buddy. Enjoy.
Sure. Having a little bit more of an upright position means my back is not just destroyed the way it was last year. The wee little gear of 3410, or you know, that's the biggest gear here. Turns out you can spin that out on a gradual downhill, so I spent a lot of time just, you know, sitting on the top tube. A good portion of it sitting behind my buddy Michael Lamb, so thanks for towing me down that paved bit, Michael. I appreciate you. This video is sponsored by Perk Coffee, the good folks down in Savannah and Atlanta, brewing good coffee, providing some tall water bottles. I filled these up multiple times at the aid stations. Like so many gravel events, volunteers make these things run. And it's, you know, great to see all the friendly faces out. Some folks that I haven't seen in years, some folks I've never seen at all, getting water and scratch and such topped off, make that just adds to the experience and makes it feasible, really, because otherwise you'd have to be carrying like a gallon and a half to keep yourself hydrated. So thanks, volunteers, we appreciate you. Thanks, Perk, for making this video possible. I had some of the instant coffee this morning at dark 30 at like 4:15 or whatever the wake up call was, well before the coffee shop there at the hotel opened. So I just used the coffee maker in the hotel for hot water and made some nice, fresh, instant coffee. Got me going today. If you want to save 15% off Perk Coffee, use the code THERIDE at perkcoffee.com. Yeah. Like a lot of gravel races, there's 3 different distances here at Bighorn, so we can all get in where we fit in. Oh, you're all good, man. Have fun. Right here next to a skate park. Gypsum has got it's a little town, but it's got a lot of great facilities. The race finishes up right at the rec center. There's a nice grassy park. Is the beer this way? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, there's my man, Ben Delaney, across the line. Nice finish for Ben on the squishy.
Yeah, Ben! Hey, y'all. After I get done yapping at you here, I'm gonna go take advantage of the showers in there. It's a beautiful town here in Gypsum. If you get a chance, come check it out. And the view's okay, I guess. Yeah. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing. Takeaways. What shall we learn from this? What shall we take away from it? Well, for me, 1, use a brake block, you big dummy. The other is, you know, whatever bike makes you comfortable is a great bike for gravel racing. I work at Fast Cat Coaching, and Coach Elliot Barring, who's a much better athlete and a smarter individual than I am, when talking about gravel tires, his wisdom is like, whatever tire you're comfortable on, that's the tire you should run. We spend a lot of time, you know, getting ourselves worked up about the perfect tire and the perfect pressure. And yeah, yes, there are absolutely differences in tires, but really like whatever you're comfortable on is the best situation for you. You know, what works well for Howie, what works well for Michaela might not work so well for the rest of us. So being able to test out some different things, I'm absolutely a fan of doing so. Obviously we can't all be Chemo Seymour with these sweet bikes to test, but if you can, you know, from a local bike shop or from your friends, ride a couple different options on a similar course to see what you like, and then that's where you should net out. You know, testing bikes is kind of like testing beer. Like our teammate Keegan Swinson at Unbound Gravel, Alexis was rocking the as of yet unreleased Santa Cruz Stigmata CC. Of course I asked her about it, and of course she said she can't talk about it. But check out a video on that bike and the bikes of some of the other hitters who rounded out the men's and women's podiums. As always, I appreciate you watching, I appreciate you subscribing, I appreciate you learning from my lessons and not doing what I do, but doing better. And whatever bike you're riding, whether it's a borrowed mountain bike or a road bike or a gravel bike or something in between, get out there and enjoy the ride. Oh, this is much better. Yay, coasting. Been trying to catch my buddy Michael here for like half an hour, and I'm making just zero progress. Coming up on 10,000 feet. Nope. Feels nice to walk.